Recent. Wait, what? Can't hear my microphone. 1 2 1 2 1 2. Okay. So recently, I've been playing Dino Crisis and the original Resident Evil. So that has inspired me to open up Unreal Engine and start a little passion project, and that is to recreate the fixed camera angles from them games, from Dino Crisis and Resident Evil. So after watching numerous tutorials on YouTube on how to even set up the cameras to get the tank controls, I'm now going to show you my project, what I've got so far. Just another quick disclaimer though. I am by far a game developer. I only know the very basics of Unreal Engine and blueprints. So the blueprints that I do have, I need to study them so I can understand them more. But the blueprints I do have, I have achieved by watching YouTube tutorials. So we have the triggers, we've got the doors, blueprints set up, the fixed camera angle, the tank controls, everything is from watching tutorials. So, and all the objects are free from the Fab store, including these animals, the wolf. I've given them idle animations, that's a sleeping one. This is also free from the Fab store, just some fire particles. Got a crow here that also has an animation. I have also implemented a lock and key system, so I cannot open this door without obtaining this key. And I've just placed objects into the level, so everything's not great. It's not going to look great, so don't expect anything too fancy, okay? But this gun was also from the Fab store, free. Then I watched a tutorial how to attach this weapon to this character's hand as part of the animation. This character is also from Mixamo, which is free, and also the animations are from Mixamo, also free. These characters are from Mixamo as well, again with idle animations. These characters are from Actorcore, also free. They do also supply some free mocap data, motion animations. They also have hundreds, maybe even 1,000 or two of paid animations, and they do look really good. So I recommend you check out Actorcore if you need some professional looking animations for your games. This dinosaur, yeah, free from the Fab store. Again, I have to work on the textures. You might already have noticed that the walls, maybe even the floor, just looks terrible. I'm not even showing you the roof yet, but even the ceiling looks terrible. Am I just spelling it wrong? Yeah. So this is the roof, because I just wanted a roof. But yeah, so we've got about God knows how many cameras. Let's have a look. How many cameras do we have in my game? We have 15 cameras, and you can't see them because they're hidden. But look, got a camera here. When the game starts, the player starts here, so we've got camera 1, camera 2, and each of these cameras have a trigger box. So let me click on this one here, and I'll have to turn this off again. Turn the ceilings off. So click on this first camera. Here we have its trigger box. So when the player enters that trigger box area, it's then going to switch the camera to this angle. You'll not be able to see it clear yet, but I will play the game and you will see what I mean. And then we're going to go through the door. In fact, well, there's another camera here. You can't look at that gap in the wall. There is a camera just here. It's hiding. That's another angle. Then come through the door. Got another camera angle here. Then another camera there. Camera 3. Camera 4. This is my favorite angle. So this next one that I'm going to show you. So when the player walks through here and passes this area, this next camera angle is going to trigger. And yeah, it might be a bit too dark, but eventually I want to play a trigger here where it's going to disable the input of the character and it's going to play like an animation sequence. It could be not so much a jump scare, but we're going to have like maybe a zombie or some kind of character animator just running across as the player runs down here. We're going to play an animation where we're going to have somebody just run across. This lady here, she's also from Actor Core website, free model to use. She has a standing idle animation. This Pac-Man machine is animated, which is freaking awesome. This is from Sketchfab or Fab. This guy here has an idle animation, and he also speaks when the player enters a trigger here. Try and move on as quickly as possible. So, in fact, I'm just going to play the game now, and you'll just see everything. Okay, right, let's go. So I hope you're wearing headphones because you'll be able to hear all the sound effects. I've even put in some background audio for a little bit of ambience. Even the footsteps I added, because with the third person, I forgot to mention actually, I'm using the third person template. So for those who haven't or may have used Unreal Engine, in the third person template, when the character runs, it doesn't have any foot sounds. So I had to add them manually. Had to also download the sounds off the internet. I believe I used freesound.org. But we've got a bit of reverb in there because I wanted like a hollowed hallway kind of sound effect with the footsteps. And it sounds pretty good. Right, so the sound is off with the animation. So what I mean by that, there's a delay actually, and I don't really know why. But I'm pressing the F key now, trying to open the door. I can't because I need to obtain this key. I'm going to open the door. It's going to play a sound, which is perfect. But when I go through the door close sound is delayed, which I don't know why. That is really delayed. But watch this. This is really annoying. If I was to rush through the door, watch this. Right. Not that way. Right, I'm going to rush through it and it plays it perfectly. Look at that. Perfect. I don't get it. So these are just in their T poses, or A pose actually. So here we've just set off another trigger, turns on a light, the character playing the piano, and also triggers the piano music. So here's my favorite angle coming up right now. I like this angle. It might be a little bit too dark, but it might be okay. Like I said, if I was to run down here, I could trigger an animation sequence for something to run across the back. Not sure when, because if I was stood here and it triggered, you're not. I mean, it still might sell the effect if the character was still in the way, or I don't know. The camera could blend and play the animation so the character's not obstructing the view. I don't know. Anyway, let's go and check out our friend here, our lady friend. Looking quite beautiful there. Okay, let's move on.
Open the door.
The Pac-Man machine's not animated. It should be. Don't know why. Okay. So the piano music is just going to play indefinitely, but I love the spatialization or attenuation. So we've got that 3D sound. And then as I get further away from the piano, it gets quieter. I love that. This character here, there was one at the beginning, but I originally wanted him to hold a torch. Didn't quite work out. I don't know why. The model of the torch just disappeared. But he should be holding the torch. But he does have a light attached to the motion of his hand, just to mimic the motion of, as if he was holding a torch. And this dinosaur here, the Velociraptor, just got a simple eating animation with no sound. It's very quiet, but if you are wearing headphones, I'm going to shut up, but you should be able to hear this zombie eating. It's very subtle. Maybe I should just increase the volume of that. But we have our lady friend here again. She's doing some poses. Free animation from Actor. She's just on a loop. Anyway, let's go to our room 2. I quite like this angle though. Oh yeah, that's another issue as well. The trigger for the door still plays the sound effect for open and close. Oh, that was closed actually, it played. Need to fix that. But yeah, quite like this angle. I'm now going to room 2. So now we've entered this room. You can no longer hear the piano, which is very nice. I like that. So we're just going to go back into this room and the piano's still going to play. Which obviously, the more I work on this, I don't want that piano music to just play indefinitely. I eventually want it to change. When I put an objective into the game, such as, say like you got to find 5 pieces of paper or something, 5 objects. After you find each one, it's going to play a different piano song. Okay. It's not all going to be boring and morbid, I promise you. I eventually want to have an objective, an NPC, like who can follow, maybe even kill the player. I want a cinematic, some cutscenes in there, and then an end game. So obviously you find all the objects, complete the objective, escape the room kind of thing. So I very much quite like this angle. Again, the lighting's just not all great. This object here, what the birds are in, the crows. This is a real world object. It's in my parents' back garden. And I took a 3D scan of it. It's actually a really awesome quality model. Used Reality Scan, which is also by Epic. And if you have an iPhone, there's a free app called Reality Scan, which is what I use to create this model and put it in my game. This is very funny. I know what you're thinking right now. She needs like jiggle physics, but I don't know how to do that. But that's still pretty fun. This sofa here was on the side of the road. I was driving one day, saw this sofa just dumped on the side of the road, and I thought, you know what? I'm going to take a 3D scan of that, and it came out very well. So that is now inside of my game. These lines were free from Sketchfab. And then this is the final camera angle. Well, this is what I got up to so far. I broke it. Can I re-enter it? There we go. So this cenotaph here is from my home village. So this is another real world object. Used Reality Scan again, the free mobile app on iPhone, iOS only, not currently on Android, but it's great quality. It's not at its full quality. I believe I downloaded the 1K textures. Pretty much every object in this game is all like low quality 1K textures. I didn't want it to be super high quality, but it still looks good. And for just learning purposes, I wanted to try and keep everything as low as possible. I don't quite understand all this at the top here, but it says memory, like 2 gigabyte, 64,000 objects or whatever. Not entirely sure. But that is what I have come up with so far. I've spent like 2 weeks on this. I know it's not a masterpiece, but it's been fun learning and having this, what I've got so far. I've also been trying so hard to keep everything organized within my level. So I've put everything into their own folders. We've got the animals, for example, the wolf, the dinosaur. Boxes. Oh, the boxes are the cardboard boxes. I suppose I wanted to keep them separate, but I do have another folder called props, which is basically like the bird bath, which I was telling you about. Look at that, really good quality, and that is the scalability high. I mean, it still looks great. Very nice. Just put it back to medium. The walls got the piano, radiator. So yeah, all the props are in their own folder. Wait, oh, even the arcade machine. Okay. Room 2. I wanted to start putting objects separately by room as well. So for room 2, we've got the lights. In fact, saying that, no, we've just got the lights separate, and then all the walls and the ceilings, which are currently just called cube. I didn't really get that far with renaming everything. Couldn't really be bothered, to be honest with you. Didn't want to go renaming every single one. Wall 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Nah. And then we've got all my sounds. So we do have the flesh eating. Go to content, sounds. I'll play some of the sounds for you. Wait, no. The door. You've heard the door open and close. Flesh eating. So this is what you were supposed to hear. Level. So this is when the game plays. This is the level sound. Then when the man speaks from earlier.
Open the door. Open the door.
Wait, so this is actually the sound cue. So what we have here, we've got 4 variations of... No, wait, 7.
Open the door. Open the door. Open the door.
So we've got 7 variations of it saying open the door. Then what I did was create a sound cue for all 7 of those sounds in, it's like a blueprint, isn't it? So sound cue and then put it into a random output. So every time the player goes into the trigger, it's just going to play one of those sounds at random, which I like about that. That's what I wanted. Oh, this is the Fab Store where you can get some free models and levels. Really freaking awesome. What else we got? We've got the piano. What else? Oh, these are the footstep ones. And then also, oh, it's the same thing. So you put the footsteps into a sound cue, random attenuation. Okay. Yeah, that was a long time ago. That was like one of the first things I did, do the footstep sound. I can't remember how I did it, but okay. Hallway footsteps, reverb effect. Yeah. And that's how I created the reverb for the hallway. So that was okay. And then I think in the blueprints, this video could just be super long if I went through every single thing. So if anybody's interested, I could do the video. Well, I could make separate videos just going through each like separate thing, so I can go through all the blueprints that I have. I'll leave some links in the description though to the videos that I used as part of the tutorials to learn and what I have created so far. So even it's not them at all. So if we go to third person blueprints, so the fixed cameras. So this is the blueprint for the fixed cameras. It all looks messy. I've not organized my blueprints. I've got to get to that, but this is how, well, when I found one of the tutorials, this worked. So if you want to like pause the video, just take a look at that. So when the character overlaps the box on fixed cam overlap, you know what? Like I said before, I need to like now study these blueprints. Oh, that's the event graph on fixed cam overlap. So there's actually quite more to this blueprint. And then the viewport, which is easy, you just create a cinecam or just a camera actor and then a trigger box. So that's how we got the camera. And then just to show you like my characters with the soldier. So we've got the skeletal mesh for the soldier, also with the gun. And then put the animations separately. So right now we've just got the idle. I know he's not holding the gun properly. It's actually quite difficult to do. And then we do have some more animations which I would like to include, like I mentioned, when I do a cutscene or do some animations. We've got a rifle walk. In fact, I want it so the soldier can walk around, explore the level, give it like a bounce. Say this room only, and then just have the AI just walk around the room. So we've got rifle walk. could just have it patrolling the room. That's really annoying now. Start walking, rifle walk to stop. Stop walking with rifle. Rifle turn. So we've got the start walking, the walking, rifle walk to stop. Stop walking with, wait, what? Rifle walk to stop. Then stop walking with rifle. It's kind of like the same thing. The rifle turn. So we can start, walk, turn, keep walking, and then idle. So it's getting there. Like I said, there's still a lot more I want to do in order to finish this. The end result really is just to have a playable level with an objective, with AI just exploring, walking around the rooms, maybe have an enemy that can kill the player, but that would be very advanced. Something I might implement at the very end or in the future. To also have the dinosaurs walk around as well, that'd be cool. So I want the dinosaurs to walk around, have the soldier walk around, have a cutscene, trigger like a jump scare or an animation sequence where a character runs by here. That'd be cool. And then we're going to get through to this room. It's a big ass room and it's pretty empty right now. So I need to fill this up. And then this end door here is just going to be the end of the level. Congratulations, you win. And actually, before I end this video, there's one last thing I forgot to show you. The most recent thing I added to this project was a main menu and also a pause menu. So it's still a work in progress, but I want to show you it. So how I did that was we created a new level, which was our main menu. So we go to maps and then main menu, save. So the main menu has to be blank, but it has a widget blueprint on it. So we're going to play it. And I just called it Beware the Java-Wockee. Beware of myself. And that's just a still image in the background. But what I would love to change this to an actually like an animated scene of the game. And then when we start the game, it would be awesome if the camera could just like animate into the game. So it's just like a seamless, from the main menu, you press start and the camera just animates into the game. But right now it doesn't even fade. You just press start game and it goes straight into the game, which is not nice, but I need to work on it. I'm going to change the sounds when you hover over the buttons because they're just really loud too much. But press start game and it's going to play an audio. And I've got it to delay for like 3 seconds, then plays the game. If I press P, we go to pause menu, go back to the main menu. When we press start game this time, it's going to play another sound. So I believe I've got like 4 or 5 different sounds for it to play at random. That's another one. And I'm just going to do it one more time. Quite like that. So I'm going to quit and it's going to play another sound effect. Which is very nice. But what I would just like to do next on that main menu is at least to add a fade. So when you press start game, just want the main menu to fade out and then perhaps fade into the gameplay, just to make a smooth transition, which would be very nice. What is level 2? Oh, I could make a level 2. So I'm going to leave the video there. It's probably super long now, but I hope you enjoyed it and quite like what I have created so far. And if you want, you can follow me along this project, and hopefully I will get it finished. I have created a playlist. There's about, I don't know, 5 videos on there. None with commentary, but I've recorded the progress along the way from what it originally looked like to what I have now. So I will leave a link of that in the description as well, if you want to see the journey of where it all started. But yeah, I appreciate it. Thanks for watching, if anybody did. And see you in the next one.